I've spent the last few years working for one of the largest Shockwave clinics in North America, and I've learned a thing or two about the power and untapped potential of regenerative medicine. But the march towards a future where sickness is healed from its root cause is challenged by the influence of big pharma and their deep pockets. So now we're forced to answer questions like, how do we get rid of joint pain, take back our performance in the bedroom, and heal diseases from the inside out without band-aid medications or negative side effects? This show will give you the answers. Follow along as I interview the world's top experts and doctors and how they transformed their lives and their patients' lives using the newest advances in biotechnology. I'm your host, Austin James Wolf, and you're listening to Modern Biotech Radio. Hey, what's up, Modern Biotech Pioneers? So today I'm talking about the actual physics of shockwave therapy and how it actually does improve sexual function. So I'm actually talking about the physics and the science behind it. You see, erectile dysfunction, there's a lot of things that can contribute to it. Diabetes, smoking, high blood pressure, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, mental blocks, all those different kinds of things can contribute to erectile dysfunction. I'll be talking about those in the next episode. The next episode is who shockwave therapy won't work for, because when we were seeing a lot of patients, we noticed that the patients that weren't getting results had a lot of things in common with each other. The patients that were getting great results also had stuff in common. They didn't have what this group had, right? So what we kind of did was we developed a red flag and a black flag system. I'll talk about that in the next episode. So in the next episode, part 4 of 5, you'll learn what those red flags and black flags were. If you came into our clinic and you had any of the black flags, we wouldn't treat you because you had some deeper things you needed to do first. Shockwave therapy will help with the physics of your actual penis itself, but there's other things in your body you would have to fix first in order to see results. But let's just say you're a healthy individual. You actually take care of yourself. This is going to work for you, and here's why. I'm going to go into the physics behind it. The physics behind penile erectile dysfunction, as far as physics go, is as we age, we develop micro-plaque in the blood vessels of the penis, even if you're healthy. So it doesn't matter if you work out and you eat right. You're still going to develop plaque on your teeth, right? That's why we floss every day. That's why we go to the dentist at least once a year, I hope. The same thing happens with micro-plaque in your penis. It sort of clogs the blood vessels, right? It clogs your pipes. And so what sound wave therapy does is not only removes that micro-plaque with no negative side effects, it also does a lot of other things like create angiogenesis, which creates more blood vessels, and also does this thing called stem cell proliferation. I'm going to get into the science behind it right now, actually. So there's this one study called The Basic Physics of Waves, Sound Waves, and Shock Waves for Erectile Dysfunction. And the whole point of this study, and if you're watching YouTube right now, you can see the study in front of you. If you're listening, I'm just going to read it out to you. So the whole point of this study was just to literally explain the physics behind shockwave therapy for sexual performance and explain to patients and physicians, doctors, about how it actually works. So I'm going to jump right into it. This is called The Basic Physics of Sound Waves, Sound Waves, and Shock Waves for Erectile Dysfunction. The Journal of Sexual Medicine published this under their Sexual Medicine review section. When was this published? January 2020. Wow, awesome, cool. Okay, so I'm going to jump down into the actual, most of the study, they're just talking about the physics behind sound waves in general. Like, what's the difference between ultrasound and shockwave? I'll do an episode in the future about the main differences between the rocket device, the Stores unit, the big wave brands that you probably heard about, ED1000, the bullshit ones you can buy on Amazon, right? And I'm actually going to be testing them on a force plate to actually measure the shock waves themselves, because there is a difference in treatment. There's a difference in results you get depending on the energy output of the actual shock wave. So I'll be doing that in a later episode. So again, most of the study goes through the actual physics behind a sound wave, but what we're interested in is the application of those sound waves to achieve our biological result, which is better erections, right? So here it is in this study, the physical forces underlying the biologic effects of shock waves. That's the name of this section. I'm going to read this off word for word because this is super cool. You guys are going to love this. Shock waves are believed to exert physical forces on tissue in 2 ways. First, there is mechanical stress from exposure to the high peak pressure shock wave. Second, in liquids, shock waves form cavitation bubbles, which are focal areas of vaporization of the liquid. These cavities then collapse when subjected to high pressures, resulting in local trauma and neovascularization. Neovascularization is one of the main hypotheses by which LIESWT shockwave therapy exerts its therapeutic effects in ED and has been documented in vivo and in vitro. Other hypothesized mechanisms include the induction of nitric oxide, which improves blood flow, nerve regeneration. So if you have some nerve damage, a lot of people who undergo prostate surgery and have some nerve damage there see benefits with shockwave therapy, and stem cell proliferation. The exact mechanism, this is important, the exact mechanism by which shockwaves induce these phenomena remains an active area of research. For more information on the biological effects of LIESWT, we recommend a recently published review. Okay, so here's what they're saying. When you use shockwave therapy on the penis, what they think happens, they have a hypothesis. It hasn't been completely proven yet, but this is their hypothesis. When you use sound waves on the penis in that manner, it creates micro-trauma, basically micro-inflammation. The way that we like to describe it to our patients is when you're doing bench press, let's say you're doing bench press, you're tearing down those muscle fibers so they can grow back stronger, right? It's almost the exact same thing with the penis. We're creating that micro-inflammation. That way it grows back stronger. It can grow those blood vessels stronger. It can strengthen them and grow new ones. So the way that we like to compare it is it's kind of like taking your dick to the gym. You're doing bench press. You're tearing down those muscle fibers so you can get more blood flow to the area so they grow, right? Same thing with the dick. You use shockwave therapy on the penis. It creates microinflammation, causing the body to make the blood vessels stronger and supply more blood flow to the area. So that's the physics behind it. If you're a healthy individual, that's why it works, okay? Again, if you're severely unhealthy, we're going to go into an episode tomorrow about what you can do to get rid of those red flags to make shockwave therapy work better for you. But basically, the physics behind it is why people experience such a great result of shockwave therapy. And if you have ED and you undergo shockwave therapy and it still didn't work for you, you still have those other red flags in your system that are causing you to have that problem. Again, ED is not just a one solution fits all approach. It's a multi-pronged problem. There might be other things in your body that are causing it. But as far as the physics of the penis, shockwave therapy fixes that, okay? So I'm going to go into another study right now just to hammer my point home. This was published in European Urology in 2017. The title of this is called Low-Intensity Extracorporeal Shockwave Therapy Treatment Improves Erectile Function, a Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis. So basically in this, they take a whole bunch of studies that have been done in the past and they look at all of them and then they give their conclusions based on all the studies that they analyzed, okay? So, let's see here. Okay, evidence synthesis, that's what they're calling it. There were 14 studies, including 833 patients from 2005 to 2015. So they're analyzing studies from 2005 to 2015. In these studies, the setup parameters of shockwave therapy and the protocols were variable. Meta-analysis revealed that LIESWT could significantly improve IIEF. That's the International Index of Erectile Function. The conclusions. The number of studies of LIESWT for ED have increased dramatically in recent years. Most of these studies presented encouraging results, regardless of variation in shockwave setup parameters or treatment protocols. These studies suggest that LIESWT shockwave therapy could significantly improve the IIEF and EHS of ED patients, basically their sexual performance, their erectile function. The publication of robust evidence from additional RCTs and longer-term follow-up would provide more confidence regarding use of shockwave for ED patients. Cool, awesome. And then the patient summary, there was evidence that these men experienced improvements in their ED following shockwave therapy. That's it, guys. So that's the physics behind shockwave therapy and how and why it works for you, why it works for other men as well. And now tomorrow we're going to go into the episode of, okay, if you have erectile dysfunction, these are some of the red flags you also need to be taken care of in addition to the actual physics behind the penis as well, because you can be a very healthy individual, but as you age, you still develop micro-plaque down there. The nerves start to die out. The tissue starts to die out. It's just called aging, right? It's your body dying. So shockwave therapy can help reverse that process, and we just covered the physics behind it. All right, guys, see you next time.
Are you a guy that wants to upgrade your sexual performance using the newest advances in biotech, but don't want anything with negative side effects? Listen up. If you've been in this space for a while, you've probably heard about low-intensity shockwave therapy, or as the FDA likes to call it, acoustic wave therapy. Over time, your blood vessels down there start to build up with micro-plaque. This is what drags down your performance over time and is the leading root cause of erectile dysfunction. But acoustic wave therapy has been proven in dozens of clinical trials to safely break up and remove the micro-plaque with no side effects other than improved blood flow in that area. It can also cause angiogenesis, which means the formation of new blood vessels. So, if you get acoustic wave therapy down there, it can help reverse the effects of aging and help you get more blood flow than ever to that area. Unfortunately, you have to take time off work, take off your pants in front of a nurse, and get this treatment once a week for 6 to 12 weeks. And you have to pay around $500 for every treatment. That's $3,000 to $6,000. Most men couldn't afford this, or didn't live near a clinic, or were even too embarrassed to get treatment. I know this because I helped run the largest Shockwave clinic for sexual performance in North America. That's right, we've done more treatments per clinic than anyone else on the continent. But we wanted to help people who either couldn't afford this treatment or didn't live near a clinic like ours. So we teamed up with a brilliant inventor who found a way to turn this revolutionary treatment into a home use device called the Rocket. That's just as effective as the $40,000 devices used in clinics around the world. Now, you can get this life-changing treatment in the privacy of your own home and at a price that's finally affordable for virtually everyone. Just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. After we made the Rocket, we tested it on a force plate to make sure it had the same energy output as the $40,000 machines used in clinics like ours. It did. Then we tested it on ourselves. Once we knew it worked and was safe with no negative side effects, we ran our own clinical trials on our patients. Every man and their partners saw an improvement in his ability to perform in the bedroom. If you'd like to upgrade your performance in the bedroom, just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. Forbes has already called the Rocket a multi-billion-dollar industry disrupting device because guys don't need the blue pill after they use it. And biohackers who are looking for that extra edge don't need to pay $3,000 to $6,000 anymore. If you'd like to learn more about this revolutionary device that's now making waves in the medical community, just go to getmyrocket.com. Doctors and urologists are now even prescribing the Rocket to their patients. But you don't need a doctor's permission to upgrade your sex life. Just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. If you'd like to upgrade your performance safely and effectively with no negative side effects, but don't want to take time off work and drive to a clinic 6 to 12 times and pay $3,000 to $6,000, if you'd like to avoid all that and upgrade your performance in the privacy of your own home, check out the Rocket. Just go to getmyrocket.com. I'll see you there, Rocket Man.